Hello, Michael Fitzgerald here. Today I thought I would make a brush holder. Last week I attempted to make a brush holder out of air dry clay, and I rolled the dough, or I rolled the clay too thin. If I call it dough, I apologize. Just know I'm talking about clay. I rolled it out to 1/4 of an inch. I used some square dowels on each side. These are 1/4 inch a piece. Today I'm going to try to do a 1/2 inch, or maybe a little thinner, but more than 1/4. Because when I pushed my brushes down, I didn't take into account the thickness of the brushes, and it snapped. I could have fixed it with some slip and some clay, but I decided to just leave it, and I'm just going to use it like it is. This is the first coat of paint, and yeah, it'll be finished pretty soon. So today, like I said, I'm going to make a thicker one, and hopefully this will work out. Okay, so the tools I'm using, I just have some clay, some air dry clay. This is a DAS brand, D-A-S. I heard it's pretty good. I haven't used air dry clay very much, except these past couple weeks. I've been going down the rabbit hole, so exploring. And I've got some clay tools that I got from Amazon. If anybody wants a link in my Facebook group, let me know. I'm filming this primarily for my Facebook group, but it might go up on YouTube. I have my slip. This is just water with some clay, and you get it nice and thick, kind of like, maybe like toothpaste or a thick gesso. So yeah, and I had too much water in this one, so all you have to do is let it sit out for a couple days, and the air or the water will evaporate. I got a little thing of water for my finger to smooth some clay out. I got a roller. I don't know the technical name for this. This is a great tool to have, though. I'm just scraping off the dried air dry clay from my tool back into the slip. Okay, I got my brushes that the sizes I want to put in there. My last one I tried 6. This one I'm going to try 5. I've got some stencils and stamps and some texture making stuff and a spray bottle. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. I'm going to spray this with a little bit of water just to get it going here. Okay. And usually I just kind of thunk it down and start making it flat with my hand before I start rolling it out. Get stuff out of my way so I don't spill it. Okay. Make sure there's no clay on your roller, because it will pull up the clay from what you're rolling out, the ball you're rolling out, and you get little weird patches on your clay. I've been having a lot of fun making. I was going to make some jewelry, and I thought I had some of the jump rings for necklaces and stuff, but I don't, so they're going to be magnets. Maybe I'll share some in a little while if I remember. Okay, so I'm down to 1/2 inch, and it's not big enough yet. And this one's turning out much rounder than the last one, and this is what I mean by fingernail marks right there. I'm just going to leave it until I'm done rolling out. If anyone has any tips about air dry clay, I'd love to hear it. I think I mentioned I haven't worked with it much, so And I'm learning a lot on the internet. There's a channel called Red Rocking Bird. I've learned a lot from her. Get my hair out of there. Okay, I'm going to keep rolling and I'll be right back. Okay, I got my clay rolled out here. I've got a couple of air bubbles, so I'm going to take care of those really quick. Just poke a hole and smooth it back over. Okay, so I thought I would go ahead and put some texture and some stamps on here. I think that's the hardest decision for me, is deciding what to put on it, what kind of stamps and stuff. There's just too many options, right? Okay. This is just a little roller I got at the hardware store for painting little areas on walls. I'm just going to start stamping. I like this stamp. I've ruined it with acrylic paint, but I like this one because it's carved into the rubber, so it produces a popped out image. I've got these little non-slip things for your shelves. They've got some good texture to them. I'm going to kind of fill in the blank areas, hopefully, and try not to ruin my stamp. Okay, that worked. I'm going to take my brushes and start placing them on. I might scoot this one over a little bit so I can scooch that one there. Oops. Ah, stop rolling. Stop rolling. Okay. I wanted a little bit more room on the edge here for this big one. And I changed the brush because the other one, the shape was a little bit different. It had more of a bow out right here. And I didn't want to push that into the clay and have it go through. So it's the same size brush, just different shape. Okay, and these are crooked, which I'm not really worried about because, I mean, it's handmade, right? So, okay, here we go. I'm going to just start wedging them in a little bit. And I just barely pushed it in there to hold it, to make sure I like the position. All right, so how well is that marked? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take these out. And I can see my wedge marks where they go, and just kind of pressing down and rocking back and forth, because air dry clay does have a tendency to shrink a little bit when it dries. I want to make sure I have enough room. trying to lift it up. I should have put saran wrap on there. That would have helped. And I'm moving the largest part of the brush down because it tapers at the bottom. Okay. Okay, number 2. Okay, so now that I have these all pressed in there, I need to figure out what size I want. Actually, I'm going to put this back. Figure out what size I want front to back here. So I'm thinking maybe yeah. So I'm going to make a little mark here. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of guesstimate here about where I want it. And I'm going to get my ruler out because I don't want it all crooked. I have somewhere, where did I put it? Well, I don't know, it walked away. I had a razor blade, a razor knife to use, but I don't know where it went. So I'll just use this guy. And I'm going to take the clay off to make it a good edge. That's a little better. A little bit. I'm not going to leave the raw edges this time. They didn't come out as good as the last one anyway, which is fine. Really crooked. Huh. So it's a little one, not quite as big as that one, but I think it'll work out just fine. And if I wanted to, I could even come down a little bit more because this thing is really thick. I'm just widening my slots here after I cut it, just to make sure everything's still in good shape. Okay, everything seems all right. I'm going to put this extra clay back in along with this one in there. Give it a little spritz because it was drying out. Okay. And don't have much smoothing out to do this time. Let's see. I'm going to get my little container of water here. Just kind of round some edges. When this is dry, air dry clay is sandable. You can sand it with sandpaper. You can drill holes in it. If you don't like your piece, after it's dry and before you paint it, you can throw it into your slip and turn it back into slip. With the slip, you can dry it out some and use it as clay also if you run out of clay. Okay, and also to get it off of your board, I like to use this guy here. And what I do is I put it on one of these. If you have a piece, I don't have a Lazy Susan, but if you have a piece that you're working on that you need to turn, these little silicone mats are great. I just cut it into 4 pieces, and you know, while you're working, you can turn your piece. And this is an oven. What do you call them? An oven mat for baking. This is just a cheap one I got from Amazon. And I go around all the edges. Hopefully, I can get this off in one go here. Ah, it's sticking. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, so I want to check out my edges here, see if anything needs to be smoothed down. I got these rough areas here. I'm just gonna smooth them down. I'm not worried about making them pretty. And I have, if I can find them, I have some little letter stamps. Okay, yeah, let's see if I can do this without ruining the texture on the front. Okay. And I'm going to smooth some stuff down here. Around my corner a little bit. The best way to dry your air dry clay is on a cooling rack, for like baking cooling rack, because the air gets to all sides and it will dry flat. If you hang on, if you dry it on just a regular table, here's an example. I dried this one just on a table, and yeah, it's pretty wobbly. I sanded the bottom, but it's so wonky that, yeah, I can't straighten it out. So best bet is a cooling rack. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna put that one right there. And these are some of the goodies that I made last week. The ones that have paint on them, it's well, these might be done, I don't know, but these brown ones, it's just a first coat. But I love making these little ones and putting an element inside a hole. Oh, that's actually upside down. It's going to be a fish in there. I keep the cutouts from the cutout to make another. And these are going to be the magnets. And there's this one. This one's one of my favorites. You can stick jewels into air dry clay when it's wet. It will act like glue. It's not this isn't going anywhere. But I was thinking it might be easier to just glue stuff in there. Okay, and here's an egg made with just leftover stuff. An egg with a bird. That's going to be a necklace. This one's going to be a basket. I learned from Tony Burt back in 2020 how to make a basket with an air dry clay bottom. Here's a couple little ones. It's another one. And I think this is my favorite one. It was gonna be a necklace. I might save it to make a necklace anyway until I buy some jump rings. So yeah, that's it. So have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.